Welcome to another chapter in the Northeast Pets President-Elect Orientation Webinar Series. Today's topic is Rotary Leadership Basics. This is a 15-minute presentation on some basic leadership techniques that will help you lead your club more effectively. To begin, some of you may have past experience leading groups or teams, while others may not. However, we encourage all presidents-elect to view this webinar. It's a short investment of your time, but we are confident that everyone will take away something of value. Leadership is one of those topics that can in fact be very nebulous. There are literally thousands of books that have been written about leadership. However, leadership can be very difficult to describe. To borrow an old phrase, I can't really define what leadership is, but I know it when I see it. Because we're limited in time to only about 15 minutes, this will be a very broad overview of how to be an effective leader of a Rotary Club. As a Rotary Club president, you wear many hats. You are a maker of grants, a project leader, a fundraiser, a cheerleader. You're a recruiter. You're the person who makes things happen. You are the face of your club. In other words, you're sort of like a superhero. In fact, being a superhero president is just another way to describe someone who is simply being a good leader. We've tried to boil down good leadership into three essential elements of effective leadership. They are: have a vision, effectively engage your members, and lastly, to listen. If you can consistently apply these three elements, you will find that your effectiveness as the leader of your club will be significantly enhanced. Let me start to talk about the first point, which is having a vision. What is a vision? Oops, not that kind of vision. When I use the word vision, I'm talking about you, as president of your club, answering the question, what do you want your club to look like at the end of your year as president? It's a short statement that simply says what your club has become, or has accomplished, or is known for in your community. Some clubs may already have a defined vision statement. If that's the case in your club, then you are already ahead of the game. Some vision statements may have to do with additional fundraising. Some might focus on membership growth. Some may focus on expanded youth programs, or perhaps a major new project in your community. Whatever it is, it's important that you define it early, that is, before next July. There are a few more elements in the development of a strategic plan for your club. As we've already discussed, a typical plan starts with a clearly stated vision. Another way to explain vision is that it is the final destination of your presidential year. The next step in the development of a strategic plan is the definition of strategy. This is simply defining the path that you will take to achieve your vision. And the next step in your plan is to define your key goals. These are the accomplishments that you make along the way that are needed to achieve your vision. I'm not going to spend any time in this presentation to talk about strategy development. We simply don't have the time. But now, let's focus on how to develop your goals. Defining your goals for your presidential year is one of the most important things that you can do to prepare for your year as club president. So let's take a little time to focus on goal development. A typical and effective way to do this is to use the SMART goal approach to goal development. What are SMART goals? A goal is considered to be a SMART goal when it contains these 5 attributes. Each goal needs to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. What is a specific goal? A specific goal is one that is clearly stated. Rather than saying that you have a goal to be more active in the community, your goal could be to start a program that helps feed the poor in our town. This gets to the heart of the type of activity you want to develop. What is a measurable goal? A measurable goal is one that you can easily determine if you have achieved it simply because it is quantitative. Rather than having a goal to add new members to your club, your goal might be to increase net membership by 5 members. What is an attainable goal? An attainable goal would be something that is reasonably achievable within the time frame of your Rotary year. So, for instance, instead of a goal to triple your fundraising dollars, perhaps the goal should be to add one new fundraiser that raises a minimum of $5,000 net. What is a relevant goal? A relevant goal is a goal that is fully aligned with your vision. If your vision is to become a club that is focused primarily on youth services, then your key goals could reflect that focus with a goal like sponsor at least 3 high school students to a RILA conference. What is a time-bound goal? A time-bound goal is simply a date or deadline by which that goal will be achieved. To use the previous example, sponsor at least 3 high school students to the next RILA conference scheduled for September 15th. By using the SMART goal process, you will be able to identify more meaningful goals that will help your membership to stay focused. Try to ensure that each defined goal contains all 5 attributes. And just like your vision, your goals should be defined before next July. One last suggestion about goals, and this has to do specifically with the key or critical goals for your club during your year as president. Do not have too many goals. 6 to 8 key goals is a good range to shoot for. More than 8 often results in a club that has too little focus. This could result in not fully accomplishing any goals. Now, just a few other important points about leadership as it relates to vision and goals. You, as the president, are ultimately responsible for making sure that your club's goals are met. Live your vision and goals. Inspire your members by demonstrating your passion and commitment to these goals at every meeting. Another great benefit of demonstrating your passion and commitment is the impact that it can have on recruiting new members. Remember, you are the face of your club. When a prospective member comes to visit your meeting, that person's impression of you, the president, will have a significant impact on their decision to join your club. Therefore, your professionalism, enthusiasm, and passion are extremely important and will help to encourage new members to join, as well as to inspire your existing members and to make the meetings fun for all. One last thought with regard to having a defined vision, and that is, your vision should extend longer than just 1 year, and the planning that you do should also include succession planning for future years. Ensure the future success of your club by helping to identify and develop the future leaders in your club who will come after you. So to review the key points in the first element of effective leadership, they are, first, to develop your vision and goals, and then to live your vision, and finally to ensure leadership continuity in your club. It's now time to move on to the second essential element of leadership, which is engaging your members. First of all, an important link exists between the first and second elements. That is, a link between having a vision and goals and member engagement. And that link comes from the understanding that the vision and goals of your club should not be just yours alone. They must become your members' vision and goals. Your membership needs to be deeply involved in the development of your vision and goals and in support of them. If your members believe that they have some ownership of the vision and goals, then their willingness and commitment will be enhanced significantly, as well as their engagement in the club. Effective club presidents do a lot of their leading before they become president. That is, planning. It starts with defining vision and goals with the members of your club, which is member engagement, and continues to the next key part of planning for your presidential year, which is building your team. You cannot be an effective leader without help. Focus early on building your team. Ultimately, your team is the entire club, but there are some key roles that need to be filled. Select members to be officers, directors, chairpeople, and others who have the skills and abilities and are willing to step up. In order to ensure their effectiveness, clearly explain the duties and responsibilities to each member of your team. Written job descriptions are a great way to clearly communicate this important information. Be sure to become familiar with all of the resources Rotary has made available on the My Rotary website. These manuals are just a small example of the information available to you. Hold your team members accountable for the commitments that they have made. This can be done simply by having them report on their progress towards goals at board meetings. Recruiting members into the right roles is a significant part of effective leadership, but can be a challenge in a volunteer organization like a Rotary Club. You may need to sell, persuade, or otherwise convince capable members to join your team. Remember that they are taking time away from their families and work in order to be part of Rotary. Being understanding of someone's time limitations while at the same time creative in your invitation onto the team will often be necessary, but it will be worth it. If you want your members to be engaged, then every member of your club should have an assigned role or responsibility, and this goes double for new members. Make sure your newest members are immediately invited into a role or committee where they can feel like they are part of the club and they begin to meet and get to know the other members. In filling some of these roles, you may want to consider using the voluntold technique. Specifically asking an individual to please volunteer can be much more effective at engaging members in various roles in your club. One last critical part of member engagement has to do with your club's weekly meetings. Your members should attend the weekly meetings because they want to, not because they feel like they have to. Your responsibility as club president is to make sure that your meetings are fun, informative, engaging, and build fellowship. Now, the third and last essential element sounds like it should be the easiest thing to do, but it is often one of the most difficult, and that is to listen. As we said earlier, the secret to making your vision and goals successful is to make sure they aren't just your vision and goals, but they are your members' vision and goals. That won't happen unless you listen to what they are saying and act on what they are telling you. An effective leader should not just listen, but thoughtfully react to the things that they hear in a positive way. Clubs must change over time in order to remain healthy and to grow. You will often have to deal with members who are naysayers or simply want to maintain the status quo in your club. These are the times when you must listen, but then take the appropriate steps to lead them to a better place. If you let them know that you've heard them and then effectively share your passion, you can lead them to a new path where they can become re-engaged and excited about the club's vision and goals. Now, you don't just listen with your ears, you should listen with your eyes too. Be watchful at meetings and projects to observe those members who are not engaged, or worse, seem to be actively disengaging. Talk to them, listen to their concerns, and work to take care of their issues. It is your job to get the problem fixed. A few other thoughts about listening. Good leaders also listen to others who have experience and a different perspective for advice on how to improve. In Rotary, those individuals include past club presidents, other clubs' presidents, assistant governors, and the district governor. Good leaders are also always on the lookout for best practices wherever they exist. In conclusion, we've tried to present an extremely concise overview of the 3 key essentials of Rotary Club leadership, which are: first, to have a vision; second, to engage your members; and third, to listen. There are many more sources that offer additional insight into how to be a good leader. Some information has been made available by Rotary International, such as your President's Manual. But there's also useful information from many other sources available. Do some research. You may be surprised by how much it will help you. Good leaders are always trying to improve their leadership skills. Best of luck for a great year as president of your Rotary Club.